Welcome everybody to the Realberg Experience, a podcast for creative individuals from all walks of life. We talk to rap stars, politicians, photographers, you name it. Maintain and entertain, I bet the show gon' get famous. So go and take a seat and let the people get to meet the innovative individual that you will be. Let's go.
DP Photography, and it is the Realberg Experience. Today, I am coming to you with one of the most motivational, inspirational entrepreneurs that I know on the island. He has, for the last few years, been running his own fitness business and getting people whipped back into shape. That has been proven time and time again. I've had the chance to work with him on many videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome my good friend, Dante Hall.
I appreciate you having me, D. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Definitely a pleasure. I'm getting ready to start eating a little bit of fruit and shit. Got all this old fucking healthy shit over there.
Yeah, you know.
We got some green shit on the table. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing we're gonna be eating. I'm gonna come out of this shit. Who wants some?
Yeah, you're definitely gonna have that energy. So I'm gonna definitely eat myself because you gotta stay nourished, right?
100%. Gotta stay in good health. That's the one thing that I struggle with is my diet.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. I don't work out either as much. But we're gonna have to change that soon.
Yeah, but you used to.
Yeah,
but you used to.
So really,
you used to put
really
the miles
hard,
in.
man. It's like now I kind of like I make excuses, man. I kind of like just say that I devote all my time into my craft and as well my family and stuff. And it's kind of hard to find that balance. But that's what we got to do. But enough about me. Tell me about you. What have you been up to?
Just really trying to work through this whole COVID thing. You know what I mean? Like for any business right now, it's going to be a change, and but you still got to work. You still got to go through your day to day, and that's what we've been doing. People have been doing virtual classes, and they really like it, and I like doing it because I'm able to work with the people even more.
What's that? What's the virtual class? How do they work?
So you do it online, really, and like it's Zoom. You do a online workout. We post it up in the mirror, and they can just kind of watch us. They follow along. We do have people here in the studio, but we're practicing social distancing. So we're keeping everybody 6 feet apart, making sure that they have a station that's all to them, that they don't have to share weight, things like that. Because again, the biggest thing is we got to figure out how to live with COVID at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a big change for anyone with their own business. It's a big change for everyone, period, in life, even the kids. The ship is down. I know you have a little one at home. And, it just gets, it's getting to be a little bit much to do everything, How do you end up maintaining and whatnot?
I go through my daily process, and as far as maintaining, man, that's a struggle every day. It's a struggle every day, but what we struggle in today, we don't struggle in tomorrow. As long as we face it, we kind of embrace it, deal with it, process it, and then we keep going, We don't let it weigh us down because it's not anything we can avoid. And there's going to be something in whatever form, so you might as well figure out how to put that on your shoulders and keep on moving,
100%.
right? Because you can't stop. You can't stop.
So what do we have here? What is this?
So this is green juice. Pretty much what it is, it's just like green apples, celery, ginger, things that will promote digestion and boost your metabolism, but there's something that's going to give us some good energy, know. And every time we get together, there's some good energy. So I think if we have some fruits, some of this green juice,
Look a little funky right now. See what it tastes like. Cheers him up.
Cheers.
Let's go.
It's pretty good, right? And you can taste that ginger right after?
Yeah, not bad. I like ginger, so.
We do some honey in there.
Definitely not bad. No,
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Honey. Just like that.
Well, we got some more.
Already.
Yeah, right? Let's go. Let's interview ready. Let's go.
Oh, man.
The interview's about to go green.
But poo-poo. Oh, man. So you got your book out. I see you got your book here.
Yeah.
Boogers are not protein.
Yeah.
Now, what inspired you to write this book?
100% my son Zion. And you know Zion.
Okay.
Man, and you know kids, so they're digging it in the nose constantly, right?
Yeah.
And you watch them, and if you keep watching them, you know where that book is going, you know where that finger's going, and you're just like, oh, don't do it, and they put it right in the nose. But, you know, the biggest, most important thing is relating to people, right? And relating to the children. So I needed to figure out a way to make nutrition and fitness interesting to my child. And what we did is let them know that boogers are not protein, and what protein is and how it helps you. And I believe in this format, kids will never forget what protein is and where you can get it and what source and what boogers are not, because it's funny. And the title, reading to the kids, it's always a big ill, and we leave schools and they're just picking their nose even more when we leave, I'll be honest.
So what is a good protein for a kid?
For a kid, so milk. Not anything processed, like let's use organic milk, all organic ingredients, 100%, but it promotes growth, you know? And you can use your almond milk, you can use your coconut milk, your different type of proteins, but milk is very good for youth and adolescents. Now when it comes to adults, it's not the same case. But then you got your proteins that kids don't like to eat and you need to hide it in the food, like your meats, your chicken, your beef, because I don't know about you, but my son is not really up for it unless it's a whole piece of steak.
So back to the book though, like has it done anything else for your son, like inspiring him maybe to get like creative?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, my son, so he's a great artist. He loves to draw. He loves to, especially just draw and watch like tutorials on YouTube. But really, it helps him show different outlets of expression, right? Because that's what's so important. That's what a child and adults need, are different outlets. And I want him to see me using these different outlets, but not only using them, but using them to help people, using them to further our family and where we're going, and just really making our passion part of our lifestyle.
How is the relationship between you and your son?
So, man, we're tight. You know what I mean? We're tight, 100%. But at the same time, like, it's just me and him. And so he rolls with me everywhere. Like Zion, if you're talking about somebody like my number one, in the next 10 years, Zion is going to know every movement that I make, and he's going to be able to back me up on these things because he's seen it, he's lived it, he understands. Even when we take other kids with us or his friends or his godbrothers with us, he lets them know, hey, this is what we do and this is what we do. He's a leader, and like seeing me lead around this gym is really affecting his life. But at the same time, he's little me. So he's giving me that same resistance that I gave him everybody else who I've dealt with. And man, do I want to just scream and yell. But this is life, you know. How do you be mad at you?
Definitely. So where's mother at?
His mother's in Massachusetts, and she's still a part of his life. She calls every day. We are not together, and she's dealing with her own things, right? And when I say her own things, she's dealing with mental health issues, right? That like a lot of people right now are. And I don't want to sound. I want to be careful how I approach this, you know. But I'm so glad that she has me, you know what I mean? And because I'm gonna do whatever it takes for our son. Right? And I want to make sure that he has everything in this life that is owed to him. I love his mother and father is included in that. So whatever differences that we've ever had in the past, like now the only important thing is that we raise a healthy human being. And so with these mental health issues, gosh, I get it so much. And what I get is that if we're not constantly challenging ourselves, if we're not constantly humbling ourselves, which a gym atmosphere provides, which I do on a daily basis, then that these things, these anxieties that are built up in our day, these things that are constantly pushed and forced into us, like they will just sit there with no release. And that's what she's kind of dealing with right now. It's sad, you know, it's sad because, again, Zion doesn't have 100% understanding of what's going on with her. And I can't 100% explain it, but what I can do is be the support system and trying to get her healthy again, you know what I mean? Or just whatever I can, because I can't get her healthy. It's a choice that you have to make. You know, again, just like with COVID, you got to learn how to deal with your mental stability. And like, it will be tried. Even my own mental health, you know? Like every day I want to break down. Every moment but if I'm not constantly challenging myself, stepping up to these things that may give me this anxiety, man, I'll break, I'll fall, and I can't allow that to happen because I don't have the leisure with having a 6-year-old, you know. If I break, he's still gonna look at me like, what's up? You know what I mean? We still having dinner tonight, you know? And so you gotta be just careful of what you allow into your life and how you, the outlets that you have to express yourself.
So, all right, tell me how did you become to be this man? You know, like how was it growing up for Dante? Because I know, you know, I believe I saw Rashad post a picture the other day, looking all thugged out and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, were you thugged out and stuff as well?
That was definitely a part of our life and where we were going, you know. So we moved to Key West in 1997 from Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, right? Our mother was in the military, so we did live this militant structured life, you know. But again, we were still in a situation, single mother, 3 kids, so no father in the house, you know what I mean? So we were still in that same situation, but at least we had a little bit of a protected environment with the military. We saw some discipline. We saw the guys running every morning. We saw our mom being active. So we did have those positive things to look to. So anyways, then we moved here when we were in 1997. We were about 8 years old. We lived on the 6B base. I'm sorry, let me get to the point.
Okay,
Yes, exactly. We lived on 6B base. And again, we were kids full of energy, full of life and motivation. But when you lack that guidance, that direction in your life, like you don't know what to do with it, right? But you are seeking attention. You want some attention from somewhere. You don't care how you're going to get it, right? So they classified us as bad, so we played that role 100%. You know what I mean? Now you're talking about 2 twin black boys, like, we weren't bad looking kids either, you know? So we got this attention from these ladies and
Purple emoji.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. The horns went up. We didn't realize as you get older, like, you're not cute anymore. It's not cute anymore. Yeah, so you turn into this angry young black man, you know, without guidance. And then at the same time, like we were kids not from here. And I'll be honest, this community, when you're not from here, to begin, they're not very accepting. Let's be honest about that, right? You gotta put your feet in the ground, you gotta be here for a long time, or else you are not accepted. You're just that military kid, right? Yeah. And so I'm watching my friends that I play football with being picked up by one coach, and they're all going and doing these things. They're going and being treated a certain way, and I'm going back to the military base. You know what I mean? And I had my friends on the military base. We did our thing, but we were again isolated, and we wanted to be a part of this community, you know, because our mother retired here. So we are no longer a part of the military community. We were living out in Ocean Walk, and you know, Ocean Walk is far from downtown. Yeah. You know, it's far from the football field. It's far from any of these central places that you would meet up with people, you know, or meet up with kids. So anyways, me and my brothers fell through the cracks on that end. And luckily enough, there was a PAL program back then and how it was being run, that we could go do boxing, we could go do martial arts, so that when we started to drift, we did have these tools that we could look back on and rely on, and that's where our passion in fitness came in, because we are angry. You know what I mean? We were mad, and we didn't understand what we were mad at, but we did know that it was the only thing that was getting us attention. And we knew that this boxing, these things were outlets that we could use, you know. And once we found an outlet and it started doing positive things for our life, at that point, it made sense to share it. But there was still a long process in between that. You were talking about that thugged out picture with Rashad, like, okay. So let's talk about that part of our life, you know? Because again, once a young man, now we're talking 16 to 18, is not getting any attention, or he's not having those outlets to express himself, man, you go into them streets, man, and you are not susceptible to those streets. You can go to your friend's house. Now, Key West is a very diverse community, yes, but once you go to your friend's house, being a white friend or whatever, and you see all this comfort, and then you got to go back to an empty house, or you have to go back down to the projects. You know what I'm saying? And on your way there, police looking at you. They're not treating you like innocents. They're not treating you so you're just an enemy at this point. You know what I'm saying? That made me angry. You know what I'm saying? But why I say that is because that anger, I felt like this was something that became part of being a young man. You know, and so I started selling drugs. I started hustling. Like I was lawnmower when I was a kid, but I was selling drugs as a teenager. You know, and luckily I didn't have to get too far in to get this humbling situation and go to jail, right? And I remember my experience. It was the most humbling one because my mother worked at the county jail, right? And so they came and picked me up for my cap and gown ceremony. And we walk in, they just like, Dante, me and Shaw walking together. They didn't know who was who. Research officer say Dante, and I'd be like this, huh? They got me. And so research officer walks through with the detective. I start getting low in my chair. You know what I'm saying? Nah, they forgot me. I'm not going nowhere. They almost out the door. No, he comes too, you know? And of course, like, they take me up to the jail. I get my charges. My mom is notified, and she's already at work at this time. What a situation to put your mother in. You know what I mean? So embarrassing for her. And that was enough for me. That was enough for me to realize that this ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? This isn't the change that I am looking for. So it promoted me to go look even further.
So what did you have to do to get off of that pattern?
Man, I had to totally reject everything that the world told me about me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I had to, let me break that down, you know what I mean? Because, like, again, we are fed with this image of ourselves, and it's bullshit, you know what I mean? We are who we decide to be, who we want to be. And so, but, you know, you don't want to be no punk. You don't want to be no punk. That peer pressure, I had to turn away from that. I had to reject all the friends that I thought I had made. I had to walk alone for a while. I had to be rejected by the world a little bit more. You know, I remember I applied for a job at the Marriott, and I didn't get this job. I was totally qualified for the job. I worked there long enough. You know what I mean? So why didn't I get this job? It wasn't a maximum to be a supervisor. You know what I mean? I thought this was the route that I was meant to take. But I remember they told me I didn't get the job, and so I know at that point I needed to turn around and figure out why isn't this working? What am I doing? And what do I need to do? So I called my father, you know what I mean? And nobody told me about this resource. Nobody told me, but I knew he'd been planting seeds for years. I didn't want to accept him because then I had to accept it myself, and I had to accept my mission, exactly who I am. You know what I mean? Exactly who we all are. And yeah, it's going to ask a lot of us, but it gets to live and it gets dying, right? Yeah. And so when I called my father, he gave me this word, and you know where that word came from? It came from the Bible, you know, because at a certain point you have to look for something higher than yourself because this world was messed up. I'm sorry, let me express it like I need to. This world was fucked up before we got here. And it's not our responsibility to change this world, but it's our responsibility to make it better than what we found it. And this is what my father started explaining to me. Hey, Dante, college didn't work for you? Well, let's be honest. He gave me a verse: "Be ye transformed by the rejuvenation of your mind." You know, and what that meant for me was like, man, I can't believe nothing that I was told. Like this, everything that I was told from this age to this age is absolutely false. And when I started turning away from that and started finding my own path, everything started making sense. People were attracted to now this spirit that was, man, lighting up, you know, and it never lit down, but that thing, it ignited. Yeah, it never went down. It never dimmed, it never dulled. And then, I used everything that up until that point to get to where I'm at right now, you know. I use my hustling from the streets, right? You know, shit, I'm gonna get on that corner. I'll be on the corner doing a jumping jack, just like I was on the corner selling that, you know what I mean? And so I use my hustling that I got from the streets. I use my customer service that I got working these slave jobs, you know what I mean? I remember my last job. My mom called me and she was like, hey, there's a boat washing job available. And I'm like, damn, Mom, you don't see more than me. You know what I'm saying? You don't see no more than me. Yeah. And then at that point, I quit. I quit everything. I quit my job. I said, I'm never coming back. You know what I mean? Because y'all gonna see more, but the problem is they don't want to hear a broke man. So I had to go and accumulate things, you know what I mean? And these things have only been used as resources. So again, I use a hustle I got from the streets to get out there and promote this fitness. I use a customer service to keep these clients in. And this is a Harvard education that, come on, like this is an education that I didn't believe I was worthy of. You know what I mean? And gosh, I'm so worthy. I'm so worthy. But y'all weren't gonna tell me I was. You know what I mean? I'm giving them hundreds of years of being tired. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna tell you I'm tired. I'm not gonna go out on the street and hold a sign. I'm gonna live my protest. You know what I mean? I don't have time to tell y'all because I need my son to have all the resources that I wasn't capable of having. I need to fight every battle that. Being the fact that we live in a society where, again, the male is taking out the household and now young males have to fend for themselves. Like, I don't have time to be in the streets. I'm living my protest. You know what I'm saying? If you support that protest, come support me. But otherwise, I'm going to continue to support y'all. And you know, as we're talking about this, please, if you don't mind, I'm going to get off track for a second. I saw so many of the people that I thought, not that they're not my friends anymore, but I just saw the ways and the views of thinking, you know what I mean? And I was just like, hey, if me and you were walking down the street and you saw something done to me that was not correct, would you not, like, speak up for me? You know what I mean? Would you not feel for me? Because I know I would speak up for you, I would feel for you. I just wanted to let y'all know I see y'all, but I don't blame you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That racism, man, it's rough, man. Hurtful. Like I got up this morning, man, I saw something on Facebook, some dude posted. You know, they like to share them videos with like, got all these blacks looting and whatnot. And, you know, while I don't agree with that at all, you know, when I see those videos, I just feel like they're saying, you know, we all the same.
Yeah.
And that's how they see us. It's like all of us as, you know, we breaking in stores and shit and running around stealing. Well, you know, that's just not the case. You know, you're talking about small groups of people that, you know, you're using to say that this is a whole society.
Yeah.
And mind you, like, now that we're talking about that, you know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about the systematic oppression that got them to where they're at. You feel me? It's like, all them people, you know, that you see running into the stores, I can guarantee you, none of them are getting paid more than $20 an hour.
Oh, no, not even close. Yeah, not even close. You know?
So it's like, how do you expect them to eat it? Like when, you know, you put, you know, these circumstances out there, you think people aren't going to like see opportunity.
Exactly.
And do whatever the hell they can. I don't know, man. The world is like, but I try not to get on the negative stuff, you know what I mean? I try to like always like, I saw like a friend of mine, Joy Doolish, she had posted like a poem. Matter of fact, it might not even been a poem, it might have just been some nice words, you know, after I saw the racist shit that I saw first, you know, and it kind of snapped me out of that mood. Like, I was like, man, I don't want to feel like that all day today.
Right. And you know, like, man, and you understand, you know what I mean? There was points in times when all this was going on, especially with George Floyd, but even back in 7 years ago, I saw a post came up that I said, man, George Zimmerman was taught by America to hate black people. You know what I mean? And I remember at that point in time, I remember this point in time too, watching this, and all I could do is sit in my car, and all I want to do is drop tears at that moment. You know what I mean? And then wipe them shits up and get back to work. You know what I mean? Because again, just watching a system, watching a whole country that doesn't care about you, you know what I'm saying? That's just sad to walk into at some point. But you know, like, I turn that shit to energy, boy, I turn it to fuel. And that's what these people get when they come here to Mali. They get that passion, they get that energy, they get that anger. You know what I mean?
It's something that we've been dealing with, you know, all your life. It's just that right now it's being emphasized on another level. It's like, this racism didn't just start, you know what I mean? It's like, only thing is, before when we spoke on it, we really couldn't prove it. But now, you know, cell phones and stuff everywhere, the stuff is just in your face, you know, but it's not like I haven't been discriminated against all my life, you know what I mean? It's definitely something that I've got used to, and it's sad to say, you know what I mean? People they like, you know, like black people might think, they might say, oh, you know, Phipps, he done crossed over, he a coconut or he a Oreo or he, you know, he's all, but they don't understand, you know what I mean? Like any person I'm around will tell you that I never change for anything, no matter what. You know, I'm gonna eat my fried chicken and watermelon. I don't drink grape soda, but you know, it is what it is with me. And like all the like high-end realtors will tell you that, like, you know, I am me. And, you know, it's like, it's kind of like a discrimination from both sides, you know what I mean? It's like, it's rough.
Yeah, but that's one thing that I admire about you, you know what I mean? Damali, I seen you on set. I seen Damali on set, right? And he done flipped his whole shirt up. like Damali just with the people, you know what I mean? Damali with the people, you know what I mean? $1 million homes, you know what I mean? $1 million homes. And it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? You stay exactly who you are because of your confidence and who you are. And man, that's just something you can't buy, you know? I admire that 100%.
I ain't gonna change, you know, I'm gonna meet me wherever I go, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't have a racist bone in my body. I'm married to a Nicaraguan woman. Some of my closest friends are white. You know, some of my closest friends are black. Some of my closest friends are Spanish. You know, I got friends, you know, I was not raised to see color. I was raised in the old Key West where we all got along with each other, you know, and, you know, things are just different now. And I kind of like try to just like get on board and blend in with society. Not really though, I blend in, but I stand out too.
Yeah, most definitely, you know what I mean? And that's what makes you you. That's what makes it deep fit photography, you know what I mean? And the Realberg experience, because we didn't bend who we were based on what society told us we needed to be, you know?
I think more of us need to do that.
Yeah, 100%. But what does it take? It takes courage and it takes faith.
It's very scary because, you know, you always think about like how you're gonna pay the bills,
right?
You know? And it's like if you speak on certain things, you know, you're kind of afraid of the repercussions and stuff that your business might take, or you know, people might not come to you or whatever, whatnot. But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is the people that are going to come to you, they're going to come to you because, not because you're scared, you feel, but they're coming to you because they know that you are the right person for the job, and those are the people that matter. That's it. You know what I mean? And like you show the appreciation, you give them what they deserve and whatnot, and like you say, you use that bad energy for motivation. Because for me, more than anything, like that stuff just makes me want to kill. Like when I see somebody post a video with somebody else or whatever, I want to kill the competition. Like,
Here we go.
It's like when I couldn't compete, maybe I didn't like that, but now, oh yeah, I can't wait.
Right? And so you have these different outlets that are positive, you know what I mean? And that move your life forward. And that's how this conversation kind of started. Like, you know, he's a fitness trainer, what they're talking about these political things for. Man, we are people in this society, in this world, who are trying to figure out different ways to get along in it. You know what I mean? And overcome and overachieve. So we need to take all this negative that's going to come at us inevitably and be ready for it, you know, and put it out in a positive manner.
It's so hard to stay positive, man. It's like, man, like I said, I did a video the other day, and it was like I said, you know, I wouldn't mind leaving Key West, you know, for the simple fact I want to see the rest of the world and whatnot. But it's like, it's just like Key West is what we've been living for the last. I mean, I've been doing this for the last 35 years, so it's like. And now it's like it's getting to be like a heavy weight, you know what I mean? It's like when I grew up here, you know, we had Bahama Village that was predominantly black. You had Stock Island that was predominantly Spanish, and you had everything in between pretty much white, you know, from there to Key Haven and up and whatnot. And, you know, it was a home feeling, you know, back then in Bahama Village. It was like, that was a place that you could go to and, you know, all your friends, you know, you might see them hanging out. Was it everything like copacetic and official? No, it wasn't, you know, but I feel like that stuff could have been cleaned up and its kill could have been kept the way that it was a little bit, because now it's just like gentrified beyond any means, and people are always like, oh, why you don't come out and support this, for Bahama Village, support that? Well, the Bahama Village is just not the Bahama Village that I grew up in. You know, everybody that I know that lived back there pretty much has been relocated, and it's not like they've been relocated to Key West. It's like there's no, like, okay, Bahama Village was your black town. Did they relocate to Blacktown? Did they put it somewhere else? No, it just diminished, you know what I mean? It was never talked about. It just disappeared. And, you know, people up they're in Georgia now, Carolina, you know, anywhere that they can afford to live, you know. And I'm lucky enough that I stumbled upon this photography and this videography, and I got good at what I do, that I'm able to work because, you know, without this, you know, I would be working somewhere, you know, probably still doing shit I ain't got no business doing. And it's like, how would I be expected to live? It's like, I'm kind of like forced in the corner.
Yeah.
And that's back to that systematic oppression thing, you know what I mean? It's like, the cycle doesn't break, you know, there's no father. There's just so many different things, man. It's like everything relates to one another, you know what I mean?
Yes.
No father, that shit is so big, you understand? It's like, you know, it's like, man, we sitting here supposed to be doing your interview. It's like,
let's go. Let's go.
It's like, with his dad, it's like for me, like I grew up without my father, you feel me? It's like my mom left my dad in New York when I was 5. She came to Key West, so my dad, we didn't really have an opportunity to be raised around one another. He didn't have an opportunity to teach me what he wanted to teach me. Shit, my mama had left, you know, the relationship wasn't good, you know. Was my dad wrong? You know, he did wrong shit, but he's a man, you feel me? And I understand because I was a man as well.
Exactly.
And I did some of the same shit that he did, you understand? But it's like, who was to raise me, you know what I mean? There's no father figure to really raise me, so I had the streets to raise me and my mama to raise me, you feel me? So I was just doing whatever the hell I wanted. By the time I was 11 years old, got caught with cracking, you know, the rest was history. You know, I just went down the wrong path, but it's like, who's to say, you know, what happens if I have a good father figure in the home? And, you know, nowadays, you know, I'm doing photography, you have your own gym, your own business. You know, it seems like we have a lot more young black entrepreneurs to serve as role models for our youth. You know what I mean? Like, what do we have to look up to? You know, we could have been, it was very limited. You know, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to name out jobs because I feel like everybody's job is important, but it's like our jobs that, you know, our mind was closed up to a very small few jobs. You understand? It's like now, it's like we're learning. We can do whatever the hell we want to do. You know what I mean? We're going to break the door down. You don't want, you know, like Tupac said, we were asking before, this next generation, we tearing down the door and we're going to get, we're coming for our 40 acres.
Time did that. Time did that though. And that's the only thing that we had on our side, right? Is the time to see how fucked up this thing was, you know what I mean? Or how messed up it was, and that we needed to go a different direction, right? Because our fathers, they had to go through it, you know, and again, we missed that relationship, we missed that experience, but we had to look completely on where they fell short and do something completely different, and we started following the same path, right? But then something clicked, something said that, nah, this ain't the way, you know, so we need to go again, break down a different door and figure this out. And now, a lot of us are breaking down these doors, and a lot of us are realizing that we aren't at it. Yeah, we might have been at a disadvantage before, but we don't need to stay at this disadvantage, you know? And we're trying to build our wealth for our children now. But going back to like the community being gentrified, let's talk about America and how all housing projects are pretty much behind the main industries, you know, behind the main strip. The projects are behind Duval Street. Just like when I go to New Orleans to my father, the projects are right behind Bourbon, or they're right behind the Super Bowl, and it's all about cheap labor, right? Let's put the minorities where all the money is being made, but paying cheap, right?
I hear what you're saying, but I feel like, you know, them projects are going to get knocked down and they're going to get turned into $1 million condos eventually. You understand? Because the people want to be closest to the water. You understand? It's like, they don't, it's right behind, it's like you said, it's right behind Duval Street, right behind the main strip. In between the main strip and the most beautiful beach in Key West sets low income houses. You think that's going to last there forever?
What an eyesore.
It's like, you think Bahama Village just got the way that it is by accident? Or do you think that this is like a long plan that somebody had 10, 15 years ago? That, you know, it's like, we ain't been paying attention, you know what I mean? It's like the systematic oppression. It's like we're caught up in the day-to-day, paying our bills and paying this and paying that. When you got somebody who got their bills on auto pay, and they just strategizing on what to do the next, down the year,
Exactly.
down the line.
They think about the next class as whoever, like I want to say the city or I want to, whoever the powers may be, are tearing that down, and somebody up north coming down. You know what I mean? And they're thinking about the next 10, 15 years because they have the leisure to, I'm about to move into this place, I'm about to buy this property that's not even developed yet, but they're going to move those people right out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
you see it happen, Bahama Village is nuts. It's like, I definitely get scared at whenever I go back in Bahama Village.
Yeah.
I always get, it's so crazy because it's like, damn, it's like, at least don't look at me like, I don't belong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is Bahama Village, this is where I grew up at, this is where, I got my nose broke on that corner right there. I fought on that corner, I smashed over there, I played hide and go seek over there, I played sharks from in the pool right there. This is where I have all my memories of growing up.
Yeah.
Please don't look at me like I don't belong where I grew up at. Where do you want me to go? Where's my place?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, where is our space? And that kind of just shows you that blacks are not the only minority anymore because they're just gonna put poverty with poverty. You know what I mean? If you can't afford it, they're gonna bunch us all together and we're gonna kill each other off. And I hate to be so radical in my thinking, but what else is the plan? What's the end plan? You know what I mean?
And that's what I see when I see all those people looting and shit. And I'm like, okay, you got the whole south side of Chicago, and you know what I'm saying? Like in one area, it's nothing but poverty. Like it's crazy. Like you put all this, it's no money, it's just, like, what do you expect? You feel me? It's like, it's rough, man. It is. But we're gonna get back on some positive shit. Let's get off that negative, it's hard, it seeps into your soul, and it really does something to you. So how do you go from being like, cause that shit seeps into your soul, don't just like lay on the edge of your shoulder, nothing like that. It goes inside your body and it does something to you, like something that you can carry out through the rest of the day. How do you change from that and come back to Woosah, everything is positive?
Oh man, so you got to drain that devil inside of you. You know what I mean? And what I mean is you have to exhaust it. All that energy, that hate that you have, that you didn't ask for, but that has been brought into the picture, you got to go run it off. You have to push it off. You have to throw it off. You know what I mean? But whatever you do, you need to take a physical action and getting that release. So it's a release. That's all it is. And then once you can get back to a state where you're leveled out, you're even again, then you can make some rational thinking. Then you can figure out exactly where to go from there. But if you have this overwhelming feeling, like that can't be the deciding factor. That overwhelming feeling needs to fuel something positive so that a positive result can come out. Because if you, for example, if you are dealt with, you see this thing on Facebook, you see how this person acts, you carry this into your next situation, right? Before expressing it, your next situation will be to retaliate to someone or something that is familiar to how you're feeling. And that's negative. But now if you use this energy, go for a run, paint a picture, write something down, you know what I'm saying? That thing, boy. Like you have just cemented. If you go for a run, you've done something positive for yourself. If you write down something, you've done something positive for yourself. If you film something, you've done something so creative that now that passion you can share with somebody, right? And that's how you kind of make that turn. That's how that cycle changes.
See, what he just said was you do what you love.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, I got it, definitely, Because, I love running. And I know if I go running, when I'm done, it's over.
I ain't got time to fight.
I just want a good movie. Get my legs
I'm ready.
Come to line, chill on out for the rest of the day. But it's like you say, and I do, like if I do something like shoot a video, I get creative with it and I have fun, and it definitely puts me in a better place. So I guess gratitude. Being grateful for what I love, definitely.
And being that this is attacking you, you are the first person that you need to make sure is okay. You know what I mean? Don't try to take this energy that you have and start dealing with your family, start dealing with other people. Nah, you need to make sure that you're okay. You know what I mean? You need to make sure that you're in a place where now that you've taken this in, you felt it, like now you know how to express it correctly.
What we're gonna do for the youth, our youth, it ain't a big population of black community here in Key West. Very small. And it's like, they're doing better than what we did when we were small. We was really looking up to do bad stuff, you know what I mean? But it's like, what can we do for the youth to motivate them and get them in the right direction,
Yeah, and that's where we need to start thinking at, we need to start thinking 20 years down the line, right, in the next generation. And me and you, people our age, we are at a good position to do so. Because again, we're always out in the community, we're always leading, and that's what they need to see. They need to see leaders, and so they know how to be a leader. But that's what this book does, right? It gives me the opportunity to be in the classroom, to put that influence in there, and not so much be there in the moment, and still reach and relate to the people who need me now, the people my age, or the people older than me, the people who are going through the same thing. And that's where, again, I need to relate to a wide variety of people. I can't only work in this moment, I have to work in this moment too, because my son can't, like him and his friends, they can't lose out on what it is that they need today because I'm too busy in this struggle. So again, reaching the children, reaching the youth now, and I'm gonna stay with them too, Damali. Like, for example, 5 years ago, I read a different book that I had written, and only I was putting them in my cell phone. I got so many books, so many things that are ready to go out there. When it's time to write, I sit down, I write, and it might not come out till a year later, but it's there. It's there. Yeah. And so, again, I was at a 5th grade career day, and the kids say, "We remember you." And I was like, what you remember? You don't know me. You don't know me. Where you remember me from? And they said, you came to our kindergarten class and you read us a book. And you read a book out of your cell phone called Jumpin' Jack. Yeah.
I know that shit.
Exercise, what? Oh my God. And I was just like, that was you and those kids, And now I'm back reading the same message, doing something so familiar, and it might have seemed like a lifetime to those kids, but to me it was 5 years that flew right by, and I'm still on the same mission, same path, but have more resources and tools. And if they can see that, then they know that, hey, this guy's doing something that might work. It might work for me but we're just planting those seeds, and we're doing it here in our community. Because we need to make sure that this process works before we share it with the nation. So we're trying to reach out on bigger scales, but no, right now, we're starting with our homes, we're starting with our kids, our family, and our community, and seeing where we go from there, So we're in a 20-year investment, Yeah, we don't plan on seeing any return until them kids graduate.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so now, you're doing virtual classes, right? You said you're doing virtual classes, and you're working out with a few people.
Yeah.
What's your main business right now?
So it is an exercise. Right now, our main business, the main source of income is the exercise. And we got
people. How's it work?
Okay, so for example, when all this started, when COVID happened, I was in Costa Rica, right? And I'm just getting so used to me not taking a vacation for a long time. When I go on vacation, I come back and crazy things happen, right? I remember the last time Hurricane Irma happened. I was in Hawaii and I was shooting a motivational video, and I came back and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm even in business anymore, But so anyways, so while I'm in Costa Rica, my brother, he's running the gym, he's running everything, and he's just kind of telling me like how things are going, and clients are texting me, hey, we're not coming back to the gym, we're doing this and that. So the first thing I do is I'm thinking, and I'm just like, okay, Rashad, you need to make this call. Like, do we close or do we stay open? Rashad said that no, it's too dangerous. We have to close. And I'm just like, okay. And so as I was closing, we got to keep the momentum up, right? We have to make sure that the people know just because the situation changes, the motivation never changes. The reason never changes, that always stays the same. I go on Facebook Live and blow Facebook Live up. I do a random workout, and everybody who's ready to work out on Friday with us doesn't know what they're going to do. But, I mean, the workout's there now, they're tuning in, and again, I'm using a situation that everybody is kind of feeling and going with, but I just use it and put it into a positive format, and I'm doing these squats, and I'm letting them know, like, hey, I don't care like that. Nothing changes. Everything stays the same as far as internally, you know? Yeah, we're gonna have to physically deal with things different or do things different, but we've been prepared for this.
We still need to work on our mind. We still need to keep our mental.
Exactly.
And our fitness is definitely a part of that.
Yes, and mental stability at this point in time is going to be so important.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And you'll see it, like the last 4 months, if you have never had to live with yourself, or if you never had to deal with something where you need to internally digest everything, like, it was hard. It was hard. Hell yeah. And again, so, you know, a lot of people are realizing that we don't know as much about the world as we thought we knew. Yeah, things can change at any moment. So why do we prepare for this? Why do we work out when nobody's looking? Why do we do the things we do when nobody's looking? Because eventually there's going to come a time where you're going to need these releases, you're going to need these ways of self-expression that's going to really just help you.
So, I mean, we touched a little bit on you growing up with a twin brother, but we didn't really speak too much on it. How was that, you know, growing up with a twin? Did y'all have fun with it, or
I mean, I was
like kind of like separated, like have your own identity away from your twin
It definitely
brother?
was that, and that happened really young, you know. Like, that happened super young, I don't know, you know, you kind of get to a point when having the twin, because me and Shah were always together. I always thank God for that, because like you always have somebody who's there to go through everything with you, you know. And so when I felt it, Rashad felt it. When Rashad felt it, he felt it. Now it wasn't some super twin thing. What it was is just that, again, you live with the person, you eat and breathe with the person for so long, you can feel this person's energy, and like, so anyways, we did go through that, but like there was this big separation with us after high school, you know, and it was just us finding our own identities, because again, people would look to me to answer questions for Rashad, and look for Rashad to answer questions about them, and we really appreciate when people take the time to get to know us separately, you know, because we are not the same person. And then now when you talk about competitors, like me and Rashad are totally competitive, you know what I mean? Not only with ourselves, not only with each other, but with ourselves, and that energy, that fire, we use it, and we use it in a positive sense, you know? Like, we are not each other's enemies, but we are, again, we're competitors, you know? So if he's doing one thing, I'm doing the next, and we are going to continue not to outdo each other, but rise. And there's
Steel sharpens steel.
Yes, exactly. And we continue to just use each other for that, you know?
Anything else you want to talk about?
You know, okay, so really, I just want to touch on this mental health thing, you know, because again, this is just something that so many young people, so many people deal with, right? And we are not taking the proper steps to deal with it on a daily basis, because it's something that needs to be maintained on a daily basis. Because at any point in time, a person can snap or lose it. And again, the climate of how the world is going, like, it's understandable. So that's what this gym is for. That's what we do here. Like, yes, my goal is to get you in great shape. That's going to happen. That's a given. But my real goal is make sure that you go out these doors and you are in good mental health to deal with the next income, to deal with your kids, to deal with this job that doesn't appreciate you, to deal with, again, just whatever life has to offer. And there's so many negative messages, Molly. Like, you open on your social media, anything, and Instagram is pushing an image that you're supposed to look like, things that you need to have. Facebook is racist. You know what I mean? And there's no positive outlets or there's no positive messages, there's rarely positive messages that's coming in. So, man, I just need you to know that you need to take those steps, and you need to aggressively take those steps to having that positive mental outlook, you know?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that. I believe that, that physical exercise that helps with your mental and the things that you eat and whatnot. Just the way that you treat your body, period, definitely helps your mental 100%. Like, you don't go running and feel like shit afterwards.
No.
Even if you're tired, you're like, man, I feel like I just, anytime I get sick, if I feel like I get that tinkle where I think the COVID is starting I go for a run and I drink me some water and stuff, and I feel like, okay, boom, I got a bunch of that bullshit types out, and I'm normal the next day. So
you ever see the mangroves when it doesn't have a current coming through? Like, how nasty is that? It smells, it stinks, it's super hot. So imagine your body not moving. And so imagine what's going on there. So you gotta keep it moving. You gotta keep that current going through. You gotta keep filtering good things through your body.
Take a shot, sir.
Yeah. Nah, you ain't the
I'm in the gym next week. I'm back, baby.
Let's go. Let's go.
So if I wanted to join the gym, let's talk about that. How would I do that? Like I would get a membership, and then we would do it like on Zoom or something like that.
So if you're high risk and COVID is something that you can get a little bit easier, or it might have worse effects on you, then I definitely recommend that you stay virtual. But if you're healthy, if you're in shape, and you've been working out for a long time, then you can come into the gym as well and still get a workout in. Right now we're only doing 7 people at a time. We have our app, so it makes it very easy for you. But just stay safe no matter where you go. Wipe down your equipment. Make sure that you're always just, again, washing your hands, staying a distance away from people. Yeah, because no matter what you do, you gotta get your exercise. Like, that cannot stop. The body needs to move. Excuse me, but a virtual, it's a really good option. It's a good option because right now it's the safest option.
All right, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, man.
My last question, we got to talk about the ladies and stuff. Are you single? Are you married? Are you on the market? You a bachelor? Are you looking to get married? Has the special one just not entered your life? What's going on?
Man, I am moving to that next phase of my life that I'm trying to create that life. You know what I mean? And so again, I know my goal, I know my mission has never changed. Just different things have been added into it. So I am I'm dating, you know what I mean? And I was in a relationship for a little while, but to be honest, who can deal with this lifestyle? You know what I'm saying? Who can deal with this lifestyle? Yeah, I be up early. Again, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm very goal-oriented, very focused. My boy rolls with me throughout this whole process. I've built a life that is very scary, very challenging, So, man, you have to want to get on board, I can't ask you to get on board. You're going to have to want to get on. And shit, there ain't no jumping. There ain't no jumping. Yeah, so I am open to moving to that next part of my life. And whenever she finds me, whenever we run into each other.
You have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever you, damn it, Gina, I will marry you. Damn.
Yeah, but there's 300 ladies who's working out with me that you're going to have to talk to first. Yeah.
Exactly.
What? Hey, they don't play about me. They don't play about me. And thank God. Man, one of the ladies, they made me this green juice, They're all angels, and they take care of me because I take care of them, and we are a community that just really thrives on each other.
You're going to drink that green juice and wake up in the closet. How did I get here? Don't you worry.
They wouldn't do that.
Don't you worry.
They wouldn't do that.
It puts the lotion on.
They wouldn't do that.
Oh, man.
Nah, but again, I feel like we're family. We take care of each other, and they know me, If I'm having an off day, they're always watching me. There's always an eye, and they're just like, what's going on with Dante? They're whispering about me. I'm like, nothing's going on here. Y'all leave me alone. Stop watching me. Get back to work.
To it, boy.
Yeah, most definitely. Man, again, and then I'm sorry, but dealing with working with so many women gives me, what an advantage it gives me, you know? It gives me an advantage on compassion, right? And it gives me an advantage on multitasking. It gives me an advantage on leading, you know? Because we're not talking about like weak women. We're talking about strongest of the strong, dedicated and focused. They lead their families. They lead, again, their communities. I'm super blessed to have the clientele that I do, man, because they support me. They really do. Yeah, they support me 100%.
So, that just about wraps it up for today, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to thank my special guest, Dante Harper.
Thank y'all for having me.
Definitely a pleasure, man. And, you know, before we go, I want to go ahead and plug all this stuff. So if I want to find this book, can I get it?
Yes, so we are self-published. You can find it at introtofit.com. And that will just link you right over to our Amazon store or to our personal account, and then you can buy it right online. So right now, printing has stopped though, you know what I mean? They're not printing books and the frequency that they usually did, and again, that's a whole nother COVID issue. So we might have to go from print to just straight online, you know? But whatever it is, whatever we need to do, we will get done. Yeah.
Understandable. And if you would like to join Flex Key West, you can look up flexkeywest.com in Key West, Florida. They're located right here on White Street. I will put the, text and stuff on video. But with that being said, thank you guys as always. I'm DP, Dante Harper. We out.
We out.
Realberg.